All right, Dave, it's actually starting, but they won't be able to see it yet.
I was going to say, yeah, I've had no notification yet.
Oh my God, come on. What's it doing? This has been nearly an hour just to set up a shitty live stream. It's not even like a professional one with lots of camera angles. Imagine doing like Cletus's.
Yeah, that is probably why he gets a professional to do it.
Yes. All right, we have really good signal now, except my phone's just gone to sleep. Okay, is it this one? We've got too many live streams to pick. I don't know which one's which.
It's got to be.
All right, there it is. Okay, now I should be able to make it active from the laptop. It's a bit weird with how the GoPro does it. Okay, we're going to go live first off. Public. Done. Save. And I'll try and change the thumbnail next. How's everybody doing? That's a minute in. That took a minute just to make it live.
That's it.
You can see it?
Come on.
In fact, maybe if I
0 to 60, boom.
Whoa. Right, nearly dropped my phone.
We're on.
All right, guys, we're trying again.
Hello and welcome. Hello, King.
We've got Panty King with his breath, not his underwear. Yeah, so the plan was, just so that everybody knows, and let us know if you can hear us again. We wanted to show you the video of the hail happening last night, then go around and have a close look at all the cars. I did. They're back. We're back. 2:37 a.m. You get that on these big jobs. Yeah, the plan was go and have a look and inspect closely all the damage on the cars. Dave's been doing real work today. I have been practicing live streams and working out system and getting all these wireless mics working, and then didn't work anyway, so that was good.
Well, it worked in the test.
It did work in the test. I have a test video of walking around, me on my own, just
testing the range, testing the signal, latency, and it was sweet.
But it just doesn't work. For some reason, the Wi-Fi's gone from our front yard. It was there this morning, it's gone now. Who knows? It's not an internet thing, it is a Wi-Fi issue. Guys, you're back. Space Kook, N54 Burke.
So it's all the same guys from the first live stream, I presume?
Yeah, I think so. In fact, let me bring it up on the computer so we've got a bit better, vision.
I haven't got my glasses, so I can't see that far.
Oh, okay. Well, you maybe keep it on your phone. At least we'll be able to do it. Yeah, I'd blame COVID. Nick Carmen.
Back. Space.
Oh, we got a microphone there. Is the audio okay? It looks fuzzy on my computer. Hopefully it's all right.
Phone looks all right, which I guess a lot of you guys are going to be on your mobile devices.
Ashcast, Cataline.
Hello from NZ. So NZ, what's it going to be? Is it how far? Are you an hour behind? Hour, 2 hours?
Hour or two. I think it's 2 hours behind. What's the time in NZ?
Hour in front. You'd be NZ, wouldn't you?
He'll tell us shortly.
So it's definitely beer o'clock at NZ.
All right. Right, we're getting a few people back. So as I was starting to explain, the plan was with this live stream was to go around and actually inspect the hail for the first time. So that you guys know where we stand, my car has got insurance, although it's insured for not a lot of money, but I'm sure it'll cover the hail repair, so there's no biggie. But David's very expensive E39 M5 does not have insurance.
Yeah.
My Evo does not have insurance. There is a...
RX-8s doesn't have insurance.
They don't have insurance. The 46 M3 doesn't have insurance. The 36 M3 does have insurance. And luckily the E60 M5 has insurance. I know for a fact every car is dented. I did have a quick look when I was doing that practice stream earlier. There are dents in every car.
Good news. Awesome.
Yeah.
Drink to that.
Annoying. Steedman's back. I am streaming on TV and phone to type. Haha. I like the style there, Zach. Morning, still in bed with a coffee in the UK. All right, John.
Epic. Good morning, sir, and happy Friday. It's nearly the weekend for you.
Where's John based in the UK? I don't know. I looked at David, like David knew the answer to that, but maybe John would know the answer to that.
What have we got? I did see, I thought it was pretty funny. Is it Manyot Sanhu? I probably completely mispronounced that. But he said, we need China twins on the modem. That's why the Wi-Fi's playing up.
It would probably boost the internet a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first stream, we tried 7 or 8 times on the Wi-Fi network, and then we switched to 4G, and we thought it was working. That last stream was actually done on 4G, but then that dropped out as well.
So we're in the shed now, and it is working.
We're not going to move the camera. The camera's just going to stay there.
Change of plans.
John's from Sussex.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Nice.
Guys, yeah, pretty shitty day. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's not what you want. Even though my car's insured, I've still got to pay like a $1,200 excess, which sucks.
Yeah, it's the excess plus just a bit of a faff. For example, with his car, it's about they want to tow it.
Yeah. So I spent 2 hours on the phone to an insurance company today. Like the hails, it's bonnet, roof, boot, right rear guard, right door, left rear quarter, and that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Which is most of the car.
Most of the car, but it's quite light. Like it's not the end of the world.
Bonnet's. Sorry, not the bonnet. The roof is.
The roof's quite bad, and if we can't do it in this video because the GoPro's crap, but we will do a video on the hail damage, like a proper with a good camera. It's actually quite hard to record the dents in the normal sunlight. And Maniotte is a full day behind us. It's Thursday there.
What?
Of course it would be. Well, it can't be. He's probably 22 hours behind us.
Oh, of course.
20 hours Canada. Yeah, it does suck, but it's not the end of the world. But I think I'm more annoyed about the time I've wasted on the stream now.
That's offset the damage from the hail.
One thing that is playing on my mind about it, so after the 2-hour phone call with the insurance company, I managed to convince them to take it to a decent repair shop. They were just going to get it to like one of those bulk hail repair places where they just pump the cars in and out. They don't really take too much care. It did break a piece of plastic trim, which is a bit annoying. And anyway, got it to a good repairer, but they're going to take the car, which is a bit annoying. So I won't have the car for, I don't know how long. Yeah. I'm sure they're not going to fix it the same day, that's for sure.
Ash is from Southampton. Hey, Ash. And 20-10 from Finland. Good morning, Tony.
Yeah.
Finland. I thought we had. Actually, do you get hail in Finland? Is it just like our tropical climate where it's sort of extreme heat and then we get the storms sort of rolling through? Because that's literally what happened yesterday. It was,
Finland's probably too cold for hail.
That's what I was trying to work out.
You don't get big hail in England, really, do you? Does
anybody
know?
You get sleet. You get sleet in England, but you don't get sleet here. You never get sleet here. It's just stinking hot, and then all of a sudden, absolute chucking down with rain and bits of ice.
How is Victoria? Trainer is saying it's bucketing down in Victoria. Sorry, it's so hard to think about what to say and not sound like a knobhead and read the comments and worry about the connection. Yeah, how is the rain in Victoria? Are you guys just getting rain or are you getting like tropical storms like we are? I'm like sweating. It's gone from storming all night to really hot now.
The weather is weird, and that's it's kind of why you can't be too. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sucks balls, the hail.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling we're going to get another hailstorms at some point soon.
I hope not.
But John Sabb just said, how big was the hail? It must have been around golf ball size. And yes, they were around golf ball size. Maybe a little bit smaller, maybe a couple around that size. However, 2 suburbs over, they had hail about that size.
Yeah, like bigger than a baseball.
Yeah.
It went through my mate's windscreen. Like, that's pretty decent.
And yeah, like probably, well, literally not as the crow flies, not very far at all. So we were lucky that we didn't cop that.
Yep.
It could have been a lot worse. And also a suburb a bit further out to the coast, they got none. So it was like it's taken a crazy path, but it could have been worse, but you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And I guess while we're waiting for a few more people to join the stream so that we can play the clip, which is just me swearing mainly, as the hail come down. Dan Fox from Brizzy, somebody loves the dog. King, he might do some tricks later actually. So do a trick?
They do get hail in Finland. There you go.
They do. There you go.
Is it like the sleety type hail, or is it like the golf ball size stuff that, you know,
messes your car up,
writes cars off?
While we're sitting next to the Vargas car, I was hoping to get a bit more done to that this week, but I do want to talk about it. I'm pretty excited about this build. It's going to be the best build we've ever done. It is
complete. I was going to say complete package, but complete BMW.
Yeah, it's going to be using the most expensive parts we've ever used. Quite the opposite of my eBay China setup. This is going to be all good stuff.
It's sort of following a similar route to your China car, but just
using all the good parts.
Yeah, the next level up.
Yes. Apart from the Chinese brakes, which are really good actually. They look
so good.
We haven't done one video on them, but they do work pretty well. They work a lot better than my brakes, annoyingly. But it's got to just be the pads. It's got to be the pads. G'day from Brizzy. Geez, just drizzling at the moment. Matt Coyle. J-Car Calandra had a couple of 10-cent pieces, but that's about all. No damage on anything at J-Car. And trainer. They're all talking to each other.
Rodrigo from Peru. Hello, sir. I am surprised that we are reaching people in Peru.
What's because I know we've got a pretty good core N54, N55 fan base. Guys, type in the comments what car you do drive, just out of curiosity, just in case there's some variations in there that we aren't expecting. And if you've got any questions for us, this is the time to ask. This is going to be a bit of a Q&A session as well. We want to have a bit of a chat and just not dwell on all the damage too much. Nothing damaged in Calandra.
Stu Arbon, he is up in NT. And I think it gets painfully hot here in Queensland, but I know our summer is sometimes like a Northern Territory winter. So
yes.
Yeah, when people based there are saying it's boiling hot, it must be paint peeling hot.
Okay. Maniot Sandu said, are you still going with DAWs? Yes, we are. He said his DAWs died after 4,000 kilometres.
Wow, 4,000.
Although last 1,000 was at 27 PSI. 27 PSI shouldn't be breaking a sweat on them.
Especially on those as well.
The DAW Stage 2s are basically the same as the China turbos, the 17 and 19Ts. In fact, they're the same as the 19Ts, but with a better bearing setup. Be interested to know why yours failed, basically. Bit of a shame, though. Hopefully, DAW is looking after you. The N54 E92s, Frankie, yeah, boy. Single turbo E92.
That's
766 wheel horsepower. Well, that's not fair. N54 Burke, what's your 1 to 2 times, out of curiosity?
Because that's a lot of power.
Matt Coyle, he's got 135. I still want a 135.
Dude, every 135, whether it's at Rolls or particularly Dave's, there's that 135 with the N55. I can't remember the gentleman's name.
The fast one.
Yeah. I mean, he has done a lot of work.
He's making it quicker. On it?
No, but I know
he's putting a G30 on it. The new Garrett G30.
Well, that's gonna be cool. But even Dave's with the stock turbo N54,
it's too fast.
It's a very capable car at everything. It must be the smaller body, the lighter chassis must help it in a few instances.
Andrew Williams got D22 Navara daily. Nothing wrong with that.
Nice.
I used to want it now.
Is it a diesel or petrol?
Yeah, actually, it better be a V6 petrol. In fact, one of the most popular videos on our channel is a Navara, so I can't hate on him too much. Dan Fox, oh God, he's like us. He's got an E92, an E46, and an E53. Yeah, boy.
And I think you're from Brisbane, is that right, Daniel?
I'm not sure. We got Dirty N47. Oh, of course. Zach's got that, and he's got his 320D. Matthew's got his... Matt, how is your... Have you got your China turbos on yet, Matt? I'm keen to see how your car goes. Amsterdam again. Roy is back.
8:46 in the morning. It hails, but barely, and small stones. Well, there you go.
Ice on my veins. He's M54. Ash Castledine. He's going to be changing up the turbos in his F10 M5. I also daily an Audi. Oh my God.
Ooh. When you're...
Got serious jealousy right now.
I would be happy with it. Well, I say that now. Obviously, I would be happy with a stock F10 M5 with a tune and making some noise. But obviously, once you have that,
you want something better.
You then want turbos and go even faster.
It's funny how I've done it my whole life. Like, I've always wanted a car. Like, I always wanted an N54, and then I got one, and then I wanted a faster one, and then you want this, and you want that, and you just want more. You can never have enough cars.
Stu Arbon with the E39 and an E46. Great generation of BMW, sir. Well done.
Oh, mine stopped scrolling. There's heaps of comments I haven't read.
Jamaica. Far out.
You guys coming to Lakeside for the 8th Mile Drags next month. I'm pretty keen, although I'm getting pretty keen to do rolls as well. My car's just working. Oh, it depends. It might be at the bloody panel shop getting fixed. We'll see what happens. But I want to run it. N54 Burke, he's done a 6.9 on 24 PSI. Couldn't turn it up because of his O2 sensors were open loop during the... Dude, all right. Your car's going to be quick. Get that on 30.
That's going to
be a nice car.
Yeah.
I bet it sounds better than mine already.
The single, as soon as you put a single on the N54, they sound like a proper sports car.
I think everybody knows I am going single turbo on my car. I know we started talking about the Vargas car, but we're talking about cars now, so it just goes out of control.
Yeah.
My single kit is still coming. If you want to go and check it out, in fact, go to N54 Developments on Facebook and annoy him. His name's Adam. He's Facebook's playing up at the moment, but go and comment and say, get the 0 to 60 turbo kit done. We want to see it. I want to see it. I want to make some power. Nick Carmen, a turbo Mitsubishi Colt. I think he's taking the mickey there.
You reckon?
Maybe. Mind you, if anyone rocked up with a Mitsubishi Colt, it would be Nick Carmen.
And he would love it.
He would. VTechNet Charles loves his 135, more engaging than my E90.
Somebody
Really?
from Jersey, another UK person. Good morning, James. Andy with 2 E39s. You're as bad as I am.
You got 3, Dave.
Don't
hide the fact.
as bad as I am.
Manyacht has an E71 X6M.
Ooh.
As well as an E92 M3, as well as an E65 35. Dude, you got some killer setups there.
So just so you, Manyacht, I can't remember where you're from if you have said it, but yeah. So we never got the E60 with the N54 in over here, and it's a shame because seeing a 535 looks like a great car to modify, but yeah, they don't exist over here.
Has anyone used 1N throttle response on new MHD update? Frankie, everyone. Well, I shouldn't say everyone. A lot of people have messaged me about that. JSR had actually already built that into my map. In fact, my cars had that whole instant throttle response for the last 12 months. So I'm a bit used to it. But even when I drive this that doesn't have it, I'm not going to say it's night and day. You think it's cool when you first get it, but I do kind of adapt. And to be fair, I'm always been one to hop in and out of a lot of cars. And so I just adapt to the car pretty quickly. Yeah. I've always had my personal car, but working in the car industry, you might drive 20 different cars a day.
Hey Dawson, so he's been waiting for a right-hand drive single turbo kit. So that is the N54 developments that Andy was talking about. If you're Australia or England, go and
annoy Mr. N54 developments.
Because it looks like a hell of a serious kit for a right-hand drive N54.
Yeah, I'll talk about it more when it happens. But he's gone over the top with the nerdy side of it, which I kind of like. Whether it's going to make any difference once it's on the car is another thing. But it's every single runner between the exhaust valve and the turbine wheel is the same length within 6 millimeters. Equal length manifold.
You wouldn't, when you look at an N54 in an engine bay, you wouldn't think that's possible unless the manifolds were made out of noodles.
Yeah.
But somehow he has done it.
Oh, I mean, it is a spaghetti manifold. There's not a lot of room on a right-hand drive. But the big thing I'm curious about is how good it sounds. I'm hoping those equal length runners make some nice noises instead of like a log manifold like most of the other options.
Yeah. So John, he's rocking a M2 comp, waiting for the DME to be unlocked before tuning. Once you get that thing tuned, that will be a hell of a car. Hopefully you've seen the M2 comp we did on the channel, which was tuned, and still to this day that was such a good car to drive in every discipline.
It's weird how that car felt compared to Declan's N55, because the N55 is lighter, obviously.
Yep.
But I think the lightness in that chassis doesn't help. I think it feels more planted with the heavier engine.
It was really strange. I was not expecting such a big difference between the two cars.
I don't think I could do a stock N2 after driving an M2 comp. I'd have to have the comp.
It was really surprising.
Sorry, Declan.
Yeah, and look, his car is sick. Declan's car he goes to roll racing, it's quick. Yep. It sounds epic when he's, cruising around with us.
He can lay lines from like 50 to 150 k's an hour pretty effortlessly.
Yeah, but the M2 comp was just a bit
sorted.
better.
It was sorted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the word.
Like everything. It was weird.
Roy Visser E38 740. Dude, that's a car that we both kind of want.
Yep. Oh, and getting a 6-speed swap too.
Oh,
that's
proper setup.
So where are you based, Roy? Because honestly, those 6-speed gearboxes are
worth a lot of money.
They're getting freaking hard to get here in Australia.
And Jordan is keen to give us a run at the roll session on the Lakeside Cruise Day. I'll probably be there. Sorry, it's Jordisinax? I'm so sorry, I've pronounced that terribly. I've mashed that up completely.
I'd say it's probably not his
It's not
birth
how it's
name.
pronounced?
It's probably not his birth name.
No, it couldn't be. Anyway, yeah, definitely keen to give you a run. Let me know what car you got, and if you could let me win, that'd be great. Lewis loves the videos. You've got 3 days. Yes.
Got him.
Beamer lover, he has N54, DCT, and a ZF.
Man, got 2.
I like it. I got an N54 with a boost leak. That's weird, Liam. You must have a really unique car. Boogs Picasso. Boog ZZ Picasso. I bought my first F10 N55 in 2015. What's the best tune to go with? If you're all stock, I think just MHD, I'm pretty sure you can do F10s with MHD. If you can't, boot mode 3 or BM3. If you want to get a bit more serious, go a custom tune. The N55s, I'd go wedge. We talk to Ken a lot. He is in the big paid members group. Far out, he is a world of knowledge. Like, not just with the tuning side of the engines, but just the whole chassis setup on everything. E8X, E9X. He's just been there and he's done it, or he knows someone that has, and he knows what works. So, like, we quite often have conversations about air intakes. If you watch the channel, we know that we like pods. Other people like boxes, but Ken just knows that out of the 18,000 cars he's tuned, he knows what works. So go to wedge for your N55 custom tune if you're going to do it, I think. What else have we got? Beamer Lover. Sprint boost. So those sprint boosters, I don't hate them, because the JB4 does a similar thing actually to a sprint booster. We call them, the main one in Australia is the iDrive throttle controller. Similar thing, don't hate them. It always annoys me that you're sort of manipulating your mind with them, but they're there.
George, Nissan NX. Yeah.
Sorry, George.
And Greg, yeah, I did. Yeah, it was I did have blonde hair the other day. You liked it, didn't you?
You were looking good that day.
Yeah, everyone said that actually.
It's pretty weird.
Everyone's sliding up in my DMs all of a sudden.
It's really, what world do we live in, Dave? Sorry. Right, what else we got? Greg Robinson's over in the NZ with an E91 335.
Very cool.
I was talking to you about the single turbo kit you're developing. Any update? We would mention that earlier in the stream. Go and get on N54 Development's Facebook page. He's getting close. I know he's got one on a car. I can't contact him at the moment because he said some naughty words and Facebook deleted his profile. He's a bit of a lad. He's a good dude. He's not doing this for the money. He's doing this because he wants to make the best single turbo kit he can for his E92. He's a good dude. Go and annoy him. I want to get my kit. We'll test it before it goes to sale though.
Roy. So Roy with the E38 740, he's actually putting a 330D gearbox behind it.
Okay.
Because he's
they'll hold the torque, won't they?
Absolutely. So he's over in Amsterdam, and honestly, I would have thought over in Europe you would still be able to get a proper six-speed E39 gearbox, but he said no, they are just getting ridiculously expensive over there as well, which is why he's going this route with an adapter. So that's good. That's good to know.
If money was no object, I'd have an E38 V8. I'd probably go V12 if I was really baller. Just for the wank factor.
Just to say you've got 12 cylinders. Yeah. I really like the 740. Well, I'd probably cop a 740. Especially here, your rego gets more expensive the more cylinders you've got. The V12s aren't really any faster. They're less fuel efficient, and fuel is just getting really expensive. A little bit off topic here, but fuel was nearly $2 a litre for the cheapest fuel you could buy here on the Sunshine Coast.
Back in my day.
Yeah, wherever you guys are in the world, is it the same thing? Is fuel just going up and up this sort of past couple of weeks?
I'm just going to go back to the previous comments. Manyacht, Epic Car, blah, 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 Dave, yes. Zach Sebin said, I can remember when you could pick up a 6MT for $800. I never saw them that cheap, but I remember them from like $1,000 to $1,500. But now you're looking like, $3 to $3.5. Guys, when are you swapping the RX-8 with a 540? So we shouldn't probably have bought O'Reilly because it broke. We really want to get a rotor in the broken RX-8.
Yeah.
And the good RX-8, we're driving next week. It's coming out on the channel, and we're going to bounce those valves as hard. Oh, it doesn't have valves.
No, it doesn't.
We're going to chip the Dorito rings.
Spin the Doritos.
Yes.
But this time next week there is a skid pan day, which actually some of the 0 to 60 members have organised here, around Brizzy. So we're going down to Lakeside, and I think the RX-8 is going to be a freaking good car for it. Nice and light, limited slip diff, revs to the moon, not a whole lot of power, but I'm really looking forward to it. So we have got to dig that thing out, make sure she is still running okay. Not that they're temperamental or anything.
I'm sure it'll start straight up.
Yeah. So that's one thing we've got to do before next week. If you want to see us trying to dig that thing out, let us know, and we can...
I don't know how many people like the RX-8s. You guys are a bit BMW snobs sometimes.
A lot of Beamer boys don't resonate with it. But man, it's when I just like anything that revs, honestly, and they just rev So good.
It'd be better if it had about 3 times the power.
It would be better.
But we'll get there one day.
Yeah.
We have. I'm so sorry. Aluhez. Please, I'm so sorry. He's from Japan, though.
Japan.
Thank you for joining in from Japan. What's the BMW culture like over in Japan? Because in Australia, it used to be JDM. Like, you want to go fast, you get a Sora, a Supra, a Skyline, Silvia, like all those RB25, RB26, 2J, 1J cars. That's what we sort of grew up on in the performance world. But they're all really expensive now, and I assume they're really expensive in Japan. So, like, is an N54 a cheap car in Japan? I'm keen to know.
Yeah, because here, now the Euro stuff, particularly the slightly older things, they've sort of replaced what the JDMs used to be.
Yeah. But in relation to inflation, I feel like they're cheaper, because you'd buy a Silvia for, like, you get a Silvia with an RB20 swap in it for like $5,000, like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
and it'd be a good car, and you could drive it, and you wouldn't spend much money on it. Where you used to be able to pick up an N54 for $5,000, but you'd spend $5,000 on it the first month you've got it. So these cost a lot more, even though they're now cheap.
But they're also, you get a lot more car as well.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to daily that $5,000 Silvia. These are really nice.
Yeah, driving to Sydney in an S13, not very fun.
Zay Moore said, will downpipes blow my stock turbos? No. I hope you're joking. Everything should have downpipes. Downpipe, decat the world.
It actually does the opposite.
Fuel is expensive AF, says Emilio. Zay Moore, no, he's already answered the question. I used to be able to fill my 62 Holden EK for $7.
$7.
I'm envious. Regular unleaded is £1.40, $2.60. Okay, that sounds expensive, but UK fuel used to be more than double the price it is here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Andrew Williams, I'm looking at a 5 Series GT. Thoughts on the N63? So, I love the N63. Everyone tells me they're crap.
Everyone, people that work at BMW, people that have had them before, they'll say, don't get one.
Anyone that's had one says don't get them. However, I feel the N54s were the same a couple of years ago. People used to be, they're so unreliable, they're so shit.
100%, yeah.
I want an N63 at some point. Whether I get it in an X5 or a 5, I want one.
Another good example of that is the bloody S85 in the V10 M5.
Yeah, everyone says they're crap. It's been so good, that car.
Multiple videos on the internet saying that they are BMW's worst car, worst engine. Do not get one. It will send you broke. And ours has just been phenomenal.
I'd quite like, and we've spoken about it quite a few times, N63 single turbo conversion right in the V. I think it'd be sick.
Yeah.
I may have missed it, but how bad are the cars damaged? Sir Kentos, I've only really checked my car heavily, like really spent like 10 minutes looking over it, and it's pretty bad. I had a quick glance at the E60 M5. The E60 M5's got dents on the bonnet, one of the doors, the roof and the boot. My E92 seemed, and I don't know why, it copped it the worst. In fact, there's a particular section on the roof about the size of a wheel where it's got like 30 dents, like in one section right there, and then there's probably 20 dents over the rest of the roof. It's just weird how that car copped it. It must have pissed God off, I don't know.
And even, honestly, even all of the cars out the front are worse than the cars out the back of the house, which makes no sense at all, but it seems that way. The cars out the back, they're still dents on them, but you really, really have to look for them. They don't jump out at you.
So, how do I find N54 development? It was just on Facebook. The guy in Cyprus. It's him. It's the one in Cyprus on Facebook. Rotaries are cool and sound mint. It's the noise, isn't it, with the rotaries, and the fear of will it start today? That's also pretty exciting. Love the Mazdas. By the way, the car. Oh, nice. So Japan cars from Aluhiz.
Yeah.
Cars are sold at a very good quality. Got in for 1.3 million yen. So I had a bit of a heart attack, and I've remembered that's not as much as $1.3 million. So the E92s are going up in Japan as well.
There you go.
Zach Steedman says N63 demand a lot of money in maintenance. That sounds very familiar. B58 for Greg next. I do like the B58. I think it's a basic, like a daily that you want to buy, put some like decat intake,
have some cool noise.
In fact, I think that's all you need to do to it.
They are
just
insane.
Wind them up to 600 horsepower.
The first M140 we ever went in was just, well, it still is. A stock M140 is still quite
Fast.
quite a quick car, even
Yep.
compared to a lightly modified M54.
In 2017, with Joe Achilles, we timed rear-wheel drive at the
Yeah.
time.
Doing it consistently.
Read that. I'm envious, Mark. How's the M5 going? So, Dave's M5, it just needs it needs a little bit of work.
Yeah, I have actually done a few bits and pieces to it off camera, just things that aren't overly exciting.
Put the diffuser on,
Yeah,
tidied up the boot.
Yeah, done a lot of tidying up. It still needs a hell of a lot more tidying up. I have still been buying parts for it. It seems that its parts list that it requires is actually infinite.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. As you get further down the parts list, it like just refreshes and there's more that you have to buy. Yeah, so I've had a couple of parcels come from, one has come from America, but another one is on the way. Because I haven't actually done a video on it in quite a long time, if you do want to see, like, they were pretty boring to actually show what was happening, but if you want to see it as a package or where it's at now, yeah, I can do that. I can do a separate video on
It'd
it.
be pretty good, because what Dave's done, like, you didn't even buy any parts, you've just fitted things properly, like done a little bit of tidying up where it wasn't put together properly.
Yeah.
And the car just looks right now.
It's
a lot better.
getting there, and I have had the parts from the saga of the repair and the panel shop. Actually, the panel shop that did the Vargas car. He heard about what happened, or one of the guys that heard about what happened, and yeah, they offered to finish him off nice and properly. So the proper M5 mirrors are now painted properly, and also the roof rails, which I haven't installed yet because I want to do the paint properly. But all of a sudden, I've got the pieces to put the car back together and have it looking like a nice M5 again. So it's getting there.
I don't even know if we told it. We've actually fixed the left-hand side that had the scrape down the side on this car. So this will be a pretty mint car once it's finished. Neil Palmer, just buy downpipes. I think it's huge on these stock turbo, or even obviously you need them with hybrids, but even on the stock turbos, just get the gas and the heat away from the engine as quick as you can. Charles is already on it. Good man, Charles. Manyacht saying, having worked on the S63 and the X6M, I'd go with the S63 as well. Well, yes, the S63 is probably a better engine. Apparently rod bearings are pretty common, but I think that's got a lot to do with S in the engine.
Yeah.
In the engine code. Yeah, I do like the S63. They do sound good.
They are just a hell of a motor, and again, people give them crap for wearing out rod bearings, but it's even in stock form, let alone with downpipes and a tune, they make so much power, a lot of torque. They sound sick. They sound so throaty. Yeah, I don't really think you can give them crap for having to replace the rod bearings.
Cornfed is in the house. Hello, Dane. Everyone go and check out Cornfed's channel. He's like, a lot of people think we do a lot of DIY. Corn goes to the next level. He's a good dude. Hi from Maryland. Will you sell the brake kits on your online? No, I'm not going to retail the brake kits. I don't want to retail anything overly expensive, to be honest. It's just too much money if you sell it to a dickhead that wants to do a chargeback or something. Or if it gets lost in the post, we just can't afford it.
But yeah, you keep a set on the shelf or two sets,
It's all about money.
Yeah, it's quickly not viable.
Definitely want to see more V10 goodness. Yes, so do we. That car's just... I think I said on a video that I took it out a few weeks ago, it needs to be driven more. It just needs to be driven.
Yeah.
I'd order ID4 cluster. He did order the ID4 cluster. I'm torn about that ID4.
Yeah, I know you didn't backflip over it.
No, and don't forget we drove a car with a Haltech IC7 dash, and I didn't think too much of that either. I didn't like the lag on the sweeping digital gauges. Driven a few BMWs that have the full digital dashes, and they're mint. Like,
cool as.
I think there's some on with needle positions. Instead of a reactive display, it's a active display. So it'll know that in another second the car's going to rev from 3,000 to 4.5. So it starts getting ready to display 4.5 instead of waiting for it. I'd need to drive with one of those ID4s to give an honest opinion, but I reckon that they're just going to be too laggy for my liking. And they don't add any functionality. if I'm getting a digital dash, I want extra warnings, I want boost, I want extra information on the dash. As soon as those ID4s got announced, late 19, you go back to the early videos, I'm there commenting on them, and I asked about trying to get them to integrate with other CAN bus features, because the data is on the CAN bus. There is no reason the ID4 can't display boost or any of the things that we look at in MHD. And they just couldn't be bothered. So I was like, well, what's the point? I was a bit annoyed that they couldn't be bothered developing that feature, which would make them so much more valuable.
Well, Dane said he wants to see the M5, the V8 M5 make a comeback.
I'm going to be cocky. Is that because he knows he can't beat me now?
Yeah, and he knows he will be able to beat the M5.
Sorry, Dane. Dane's car's going to be quick, especially with his auto.
Yeah.
Scuffed Andy. He's got to do the M62 TU timing chain guides. When you've done it, let us know how to do it, because I think we're going to have to do the X5 soon. It's coming up to 200,000 cases.
Yeah.
It hasn't got many months before it's going to be there.
Is yours, Scuffed Andy, is yours making any rattle yet? Can you hear them, or are you just doing them
Preemptively.
Yeah.
Zach Steedman, E85, keeping the temps down, knock rating. I must have missed the question about E85.
So, yes, still worth going a single. You'll just make about 5% more horsepower on E85. Maybe even more. E85 is damn good.
Especially on an M54. So like on an older, lower compression motor, you wouldn't pick up as much
Benefit
of a
from
hit with the E85, but the high compression engines and E85 really allows you to pump that timing in. Like my car on pump, I'm running 6 degrees of timing, and on E85 I'm running 10. So that's a lot more timing advance. Huge power difference.
And if you don't have access to E85, you can put water meth injection kits on it, which help as well, help keep some temps down and add a little bit more RON. So yeah, as far as going to single on an N54, big difference. Big difference.
Somebody's asked about thoughts on a spline lock. I assume you mean like a crank hub on an N55 and S55. No personal experience whatsoever. I know 2 mates that have spun crank hubs on S55s, both DCT cars. Weird. I would have thought people over revving manuals, but both DCTs. Yeah, it's a concern. Depending on what the car owes you and what you're going to do with the car and what you can get that crank hub done for, I would do it. Both of the S55 guys instantly did the crank hub fix. They didn't damage the engine, luckily, so it didn't spin much. Keen to seeing the intercooler fittings to the M5. Dave, you need to get your intercooler fitted.
So there is, honestly, the job list for that car is huge. And I don't want to sound like a loser, but when all of that stuff went down with the panel shop, I did lose a little bit of motivation.
You just felt like you got ripped off and lied to by a friend.
By a freaking friend. And it is, I'm not going to lie, it's a serious amount of money for me, that car, even though it's a write-off, etc., etc. It was a bit of a story, and then with so much more to do, and it's not like we haven't got anything else going on. There's a lot of other cars to work on and keep me busy, as well as the workshop. It's always got a car in it, so you sort of have to, make time for it, as well as I've also got another job, so it's not the end of the M5. It's just there is so much stuff for it to do, nearly. But yeah, the intercooler is also a must. But there's other things even before I get that far that I want to sort of want to perfect it. And a really big thing, I was having a chat to Ken and a couple of the other 0 to 60 guys down at the roll racing. They said, "Why hasn't the M5 been on the channel? Even just driving it, rip it and show us the noises and stuff." The back end. So there's a bit of a clunk when you give it a hard time, especially doing a 1 to 2, shipping from 3 to 4, trying to do it really quickly.
It's a big clunk.
Yeah, so when it was up on the hoist, can't even remember when, Andrew jumped inside, started it up, and I got underneath it to see if I could find out where the play was. And you just sort of dumped the clutch a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, so I was just holding it on the brake and then just jerking the clutch.
And
whilst it was in gear, obviously.
I was underneath looking at the rear end, and the rear diff nearly twisted out of the car. So all new bushes need to go on the back end, and they are notorious if you're running any more power or given a really hard time for actually snapping the front diff mount off of the subframe, which I can't do because where the hell am I going to get an M5 subframe from? So that's another reason why I sort of got put off from driving it. So yeah, another thing, but that diff bushes are coming. I've got solid front diff mount. I've got polyurethane rears, subframe, inserts. Like I said, the parts list for that thing is pretty big.
Could try harder. Channel member, thank you very much. And he's even donated £5. We really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
I know...
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, actually,
Appreciate
we'll
it.
have a drink to that.
Cheers.
Only about $7,995 now in hail damage to fix. No, I really do appreciate the donations. Everyone that helps the channel. The community that we've got in the 0 to 60 main chat, like the G members, those guys are friggin' awesome. Charles is in here at the moment. There's probably a couple of others in here, but the conversations that go on in that group,
there's a lot going on in that group, to be honest. It's
and you guys
awesome.
all help. But yeah, he said he's missed the hail news. How bad is it? The hail, I think if I took my car to BMW, it'd probably be about 15 grand to repair. It's bonnet, roof, driver's door, quarter panels, boot lid, and having a look at it, it's probably 50 to 80 hail dents all up. Just sucks. Luckily, my car has insurance. Nearly everything else here doesn't, and my car is the worst by a mile. Thank God.
I can't work that out. That was that car got hit the worst, and it's the only one
that we
It's funny.
pimp out on the channel all the time.
It's funny.
TDI Australia, did I miss the damage? No, I haven't actually played the damage yet. There's been too many questions. We're trying to keep up with the questions, but we will show the damage. I've got the videos. Sorry, not the damage, the actual accident happening. We planned to show the damage in this live stream, but for some reason the Wi-Fi won't work out the front of the house, or 4G. So.
And yeah, sorry, just could try harder again. You said you're on the back end of COVID. Whereabouts are you based? I guess if you donated £5, you're probably from England.
Yes.
Probably could have worked that one out. Sorry about
Or he's from like 1800s in Australia.
that. And still has pounds in his safety deposit box.
I want to put a Tesla Model S Plaid into my E92. Dan, that is blasphemy. There'll be no electronics when you can have that N54 combustion glory. Look, to be fair, I actually used to get quite hyped up on Tesla swaps because you can make an average car super quick. But big money. I don't know if I'd invest in it myself. I'd want to thrash a Tesla. I've never done it. I've never been in one. I want to get in one.
Need to do it.
Yeah.
Need to do it. Need to experience the insane acceleration, especially as we're 0 to 60. That's what we're about. Yeah, it's got to do it.
Sir Kentos has asked, any tips on N54 turbo upgrades? Cheapest and most reliable. Unfortunately, those two don't necessarily go hand in hand. But more importantly, a reliable upgraded turbo N54 probably doesn't go hand in hand. That said, my car has been pretty good. I can still... N54 Developments has just messaged me.
No way.
Yeah.
So, did you guys go and harass him?
I hope you did. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That's how quickly it works.
The power of the internet. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Like, it all comes down to budget. Now, I don't want to say, if you can only afford China turbos, just do it. I'm not going to be one of those sensible people that say, oh, save up and wait. But make sure you have got the money for all the maintenance and the supporting mods. I think it's total luck of the draw with how long your China ones are going to last. I've had a pretty good run. JB's died pretty much straight away. Scots are making funny noises. I hope they're okay. But mine have been okay. Just my wastegates don't work properly, but I can still make a lot of power, so it's not too good, not too bad.
Any plans for a 1 Series N54 build? Sorry, from
Yes.
Daryl Smith.
We plan it every day. Just funding it and finding the right car is a hard thing. I do keep an eye on the auctions all the time. So if something comes up that is just a steal, we'll just borrow the money to get it.
Which again, going back like 12 months ago, that used to happen every now and then. But
yes.
It's not so common anymore.
Nah, like auction, like smashed right off N54s are fetching like 10 grand, and it's just like, it's too much.
Zach Steedman, for the beer fund, drink until the damage goes away. $15.
Thank you very much, Zach.
Very much, Zach. Cheers.
Cheers. And Zach has been a long time supporter of 0 to 60. He was one of the first members, so thank you very much.
Yeah, no, you are a legend, man. And yeah,
in fact, King, you want to do a trick for Zach? You gonna sit? Is he on camera? Yeah.
Can Zach have? Sorry. Can King have a beer?
Can King have a beer? Come here. You gonna sit down? Sit. 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 It's for the internet. Can you beg? Beg?
Oh, is that?
I hope that's on camera. It might not be. We'll see in a minute. Thank you. If you can do tricks every time someone donates, that'd be great. Shake. Thank you. Yeah, legend, Zach. Do appreciate it.
Yep.
How is that little blue sleeper? Is David talking about his own car?
Oh, that's David Holmes. I
He's
think
probably
so. Yeah.
cheeky man.
It's quick. It's very quick. Those little 1 series.
E85, all the things. Corn-fed is correct. And tough day for King, says Tim Wright.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, we have another donation. Liam Webster. Thank you very much, Liam. All this money is going to go straight into... Well, actually, I'll be honest. We're pretty sorted with the parts for the Vargas car. We've only got to buy solenoids for the transmission.
Exhaust.
Oh, the exhaust.
That's going to be some money.
Yeah, what do you guys think? So we're toying up what to do with the exhaust on this thing. We need to get a better flowing exhaust, and
Much better.
we could either go like a VRSF off the shelf, which there's a million N54s of them, or should we do something custom? I'm leaning towards something custom. I've got some prices where it's about $1,000 more than a VRSF.
Which is painful to swallow. That makes me just want to go, we'll just do... Well, there's nothing wrong with the VRSF one. It works. However, like you said, there's so many out there. There's nothing exciting about it. And the exhaust that's on O'Reilly, for example, again, that's a full custom exhaust. And it's freaking cool. It sounds good.
Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Custom or off the shelf. Off the shelf's cheaper, but custom could be cooler. But the money that you guys do donate... we don't even put it in the beer fund. It just goes into the car fund.
Yeah.
And making more videos fund, like buying cameras that have Wi-Fi out the front of the house, maybe.
And Mr. Webster, Liam, that donated the 10 Canadian dollars, by the way. So I like it how it comes through with the all local currency, so we actually know where.
Do we have to spend Canadian dollars? Actually, YouTube probably take like 40% of it anyway.
But he asked any recommendations for a good budget coilover for an E92, which I think that's a pretty simple answer.
It is. I loved my Geckos. My Geckos are now on Dylan's car. I think as a daily, they're better than my BCs. But I haven't driven the bottom of the range BCs. So mine are mid-range BCs, which are a bit more track orientated. I think what do I say? I think from everything I understand about the cheap coilovers, Geckos are fine, but I don't think they're going to last that long. Mine were going a little bit rusty at 12 months old, which we don't really get rusty things here in Queensland.
This climate, yeah.
But the base model BCs, they're about the same price as the Geckos. Jake, I forgot his name then. Jake, who's a good mate of mine, he's the BMW tech. He does a lot of work for 0 to 60 members. He's got the base model BCs on his car. Actually, I may have been in it, but I didn't actually drive that car, and they actually felt quite good. Oh, actually, that's our RB turbo car.
Yeah. And BC, they have such a history now. They've been around the block.
If you need to get them serviced, you can get parts for them.
Yeah, fully rebuildable. They're actually quite a good quality shock. Even their entry level ones. I wouldn't even think about it, to be honest. They're so cheap for what you get.
Just go BCs.
Yeah. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with the Gecko. In fact, going from your stock suspension to the Gecko, the car went faster.
Yeah.
The car went quicker just with coilovers. But I think going to the entry-level BCs, if you're just after a budget thing, I'd probably just go to BCs.
We have another donation. We have to prioritise.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. It's Moto Digital Video.
It's Scott.
If you guys chug for every super chat, that could get messy. Yes, it could. And I've got a whole case of Coronas just there. I am supposed to be... I got an invitation to the unveiling of some new BMWs today. Well, I didn't get an invitation. A mate of mine did, and he said, do you want to come? I'm thinking about live chatting that. It's the new...
They won't mind.
No.
Thank you very much, Scott. You are a legend.
I probably shouldn't get too drunk before I go there.
Scott, everyone's probably seen Scott in videos by now. He is a hell of a rev head.
He's just a G.
Yeah,
we talk about Scott a fair bit, like, oh, do you know Scott's done this? He's like, what?
He's a bit of a dark horse.
Yeah, just randomly does way too many advanced things for a guy working out of his garage, and then he comes to rolls and he's pretty quick. Once he's got his car sorted, it's probably going to be quicker than mine, unfortunately.
He is not stopping. He is just modifying and modifying, so it's going to be damn quick.
And he's a dad. Like, we don't have children, so we're allowed to like just waste all of our money on the car.
We can literally spend all of our money and be completely idiots, and nobody, no one's like, oh, pull your head in, whatever. But yeah, Scott still gets away with it somehow.
Oh, Dan Fox, thank you very much for your donation. We've got $20 from Dan Fox.
Daniel Fox, thank you very much, sir. That is awesome. Another drink. Cheers.
But you didn't ask a question, Dan Fox. You just said cheers. If you got any questions, let us know. It's nearly getting hard to keep up with the comments. I'm going to have to... Let me try if we can go back to them. Okay, David Holmes says, better call JD. JD that did the ceramic coating for mine. He knows a lot about hail repair, if that makes sense, from Wax My Car. I wanted to get him to just touch the car up, so maybe we'll go back and see JD once the panel work's all done and it's all repaired. Any plans for a 1 Series build?
It's getting... The comments are coming through quicker. I thought they were coming through quick before. It's hard to keep up, but... Sorry, Dan Fox did ask a question.
Oh, did he?
Not with a donation, though, but I just spotted. He said, where are you guys? We are on the Sunshine Coast. Inland from Caloundra. It's probably the best place to explain it.
Yeah, Sunny Coast is quite a nice place. Not a lot of action, but it's pretty quiet, and you can rev your engines and not annoy too many people, so that's good.
Yeah, and it is definitely getting busier, that is for sure. So that's where we are, Dan. And again, thank you very much for your donation. And then, we had another donation. Did you see that?
No. Oh, it's corn.
I don't believe it. It's corn.
Thank you, dude.
You are.
Dane, you're a legend.
Hail damage is always painful. Hope this helps. Or can go towards the fuel bill.
It'll go towards the fuel bill. All right. I think, who wants to see... I really want to try and get together with Dane and do some one-on-one races against his Commodore, whether it's on a private track or on a real racetrack. Once he's got his gearbox in,
yeah.
I really want to do that. I want him to run him against this car and my car.
I really wanted to actually get the car on the channel when it was still a manual for a 0 to 60.
Would have been. I still think it'd be hard to launch, but once you're going, you're going.
It was just when I went in at roll racing, it was just an experience, man. You've built an absolute monster, and obviously the manual gearbox, especially that gearbox, not good for raw racing at all. But it did make it exciting, but it obviously didn't make it very quick. So with his glide, it's just going to be... It might take a little bit of excitement out of it, maybe, although you're going to have enough power to just fry the whole main straight, so it's still going to be pretty exciting.
I think on the drag strip, the only car that's going to get close to Corn will be a Really.
Oh, yeah.
And that's if we can get close to it.
100%.
On the drag strip, Corn's car is going to be quick.
Yeah.
A lot of people like King. Well, King, you going to do some more tricks? We'll see if he comes back. He might be looking out into the distance, wanting to go for a tinkle. We'll see. Stephen Cawthorne, another channel member. Thank you very much, dude. I know you've been around for a few months. Watching from Perth, 35 degrees. Stuff that.
In Perth, damn. Ugh. It's definitely hitting summer. Today we had hail last night, and then actually it was overcast this morning. But as soon as the midday when the sun came out, it was hot and sweaty.
Stuart was saying you look better with your hair down. If you want to try that again.
Okay, yeah, I'll
just another tip.
I won't do it now. I'll do it later. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, AV Medina said custom aluminium 4-inch. That was in relation to the exhaust question. All right. I don't know if we could fit a 4-inch, but we'll see. I think actually our Really's is a 4-inch. I think, or is it 3-inch? Might be 3.5.
Yeah, I think it's 3.5.
I don't think we need to go that mad with the twins that are going on this, but at least a twin 2.5.
V-Power is £1.45 a litre in the UK, which, I mean, this is a lot of money for a litre of petrol, but again, the UK used to be horrible for fuel anyway, so I don't think you guys have had the increase that maybe we have over here for some reason.
Yeah, actually we used to have fuel subsidies in Queensland. They got rid of them about 2 years ago and that hurt.
Well, that's V-Power too, which...
Liam Webster said he's got 11 blade 17 Ts on his car and he's sweating because I'm not tuned yet, but will be shortly. Just try not to beat on the car too much. Generally, my understanding, and even talking to Ken and a couple of other tuners, when you're running hybrids on a stock map, the car will overboost and close the throttle. So you'll be wearing everything out. Your turbos will be working too hard, but you shouldn't hurt the engine. But try and get onto a custom tune straight away. Hit up JSR, see how much he'll do you one for. Hit up Ken from Wedge. Just hit them up for a price. Tell them you watch a channel. They might look after you. I know they do look after a few of the 0 to 60 G members.
Yeah.
But I just can't commit because they also support us a lot. So just see what they'll do. They might do your deal.
And They do have a lot going on. Did you see Mario ask about your exhaust?
No. What kind of exhaust do you guys have on your 17T car?
Sounds quiet compared to everything you race. You are correct.
Yeah, my car has a Miltech catback twin 2.5-inch system, and it's horribly quiet. When I first got that car, when I first started to build it, I was really put off by how quiet it is, but now I kind of like the sleepiness.
I've made this reference like ages ago, before it was even as quick as it was, but messing around with him one night at night time, and he sort of come from behind my car, and it was in the dark. A
few people at
Circuit
Coffee, because you pull up next to a car that's like rumbling, and mine's just, is that a stock N54?
Yeah.
Matthew Gladding from NZ, he said go custom exhaust. I think we're going to have to go custom exhaust. We have...
It will be more interesting, that's for sure. And possibly better for the car.
Yeah, something, as the audience grows, I kind of like experimenting with different things and documenting how it works, so we know what a VRSF exhaust is going to sound like, how it's going to work. So it'd be cool to see what a custom 2.5-inch system does and how that all works together. Corner said, my car needs to be more loud. Yeah, I'm hoping, I think when I go for a single turbo, I'm gonna run an external gate, or gates.
Ooh.
So hopefully on song we'll get a bit more noise out of it.
Yep.
But I'll probably still keep the Miltech from the turbo system back. We'll see how we go. We've caught up with the comments.
How's the V10, guys? The V10 hasn't actually been used much at all, to be honest with you.
No.
But it's still there, and it is still freaking awesome.
And every time it gets used, it hits its rev limiter.
That car has partly my massive obsession with M5s, which I liked them before we got that car anyway, but we have had that car for over a decade now. We have done so many miles in it, and you would think we would just get, it would lose its edge, it would lose how cool it is, especially now with Andrew's car. I know, really, the cars that are so much faster than it, but you still get in it, and it's still an experience to drive because of the freaking V10.
It's special. It feels special. It's like Clint's Lambo. I didn't get to drive Clint's Lambo, but you're in that car and you just feel like you're in a special place. It's the same thing in the E60 M5.
Yep. And even the SMG gearbox, which again the internet, hangs so much rubbish on, it's good.
Daryl Smith with a US $50 donation. Thank you, dude.
Daryl,
that's friggin' huge.
Daryl Smith, you're out of control, man. Thank you. We got to cheers to that.
We will cheers to that.
Cheers, Daryl.
And I am doing the single turbo, and I will document everything and let everybody know any secret tips, tricks, whatever we can do to get more single turbos out there.
And obviously try and get that already insane 100 to 200 time down even quicker. Try and, your car at the moment, you can already pick up, you could highway race or roll, well you did, that R8 V10.
Yep. It's quicker than most stock supercars.
That is stupid.
But I want to be like super bike quick.
Like a lot quicker than a supercar.
Maybe not super bike, that'd be too quick. But I'd like to be low fours, 1 to 2. We'll see how we go. We'll see how many gearboxes and engines we blow up trying to get there. But that's the plan with my car.
Daryl, you know, not even a question, man. What are you, I take it you're also rocking an N54. Are you single, are you modified? What's the...
Not your relationship status, the car.
And that was US dollars. So again, we know you're in the US, which is pretty cool. Whereabouts are you in America?
Yeah, do let us know, Daryl. Just going through some more questions. Scuffed Andy, is 2.5 big enough? It has to be a twin 2.5-inch exhaust or a single 3.5-inch. That is what DAW said we had to do when I put the order in for the turbos, and I'm going to do what he says.
And he has made that extremely clear.
I think every time I say, hey, how the turbo's going, he says, make sure you do an exhaust. So it's pretty funny.
It's like it's almost like his email signature.
I'm looking forward to running them, and it's 100% Alex the Russian's fault. His car is so fast. Guys, he's an M54 YouTuber, Alex the Russian, worth checking out. He's similar ethos to us, doesn't spend a lot of money, does a lot of work himself, but he's making some power.
Fast.
And I think he's just done a 60 to 130 in 5.6 seconds, so it's a fast car.
And that's twins, don't forget. They're big twins, but twins.
He is being clever in the sense that he stripped a lot of weight out, where I kind of want to break all the records that I do at full street. in a street car, like a proper street car.
And that's another thing with, I mean, I kind of get it, because his car is so stupidly quick, but he doesn't even have a dash pad.
Yeah.
I really like, especially on the Beamers, I really like having the full interior.
Well, I really was so gangster. Like, I really was such a fast car. Aircon, tinted windows, leather seat, like full interior. Like, until you start that car, you think you're in a stock E90.
You can...
Apart from the shifter.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was executive, but it's still automatic. You still haven't, it's still not hard to drive because it's damn automatic. Yeah, so I want to keep that. And same thing with the Vargas car. In fact, I think we'll even keep the Vargas car even more plush. Like, it will be smooth, silent, and still rip.
Someone actually sent me an email asking about solid engine mounts this week, and I was talking to him. He's trying to do a similar setup to O'Reilly, and he asked, would I recommend the solid engine mounts? And the answer is no. But you need it if you're going to have a trans brake, because you'll snap things if you've got that play. But this car, try and keep it sort of smooth, quiet, rubber mounts everywhere, no poly bushes, and see what we can do with it. It should still be pretty fun. 335 IS, turned on shift bog fix on my single turbo 335 IS because of your video. You're welcome, man. That's what we want to do. Like, anything that we learn that makes the cars better or will save people money, we want to share. You're the second person today that actually messaged me about they turned on shift bog because of that video and they can't believe what difference it makes. How sick is that rev limiter? A proper rev limiter.
You're loving life now.
O'Reilly needs a hood dump. You are not wrong.
And also O'Reilly with a side pipe. So yeah, people want to see a side exit or a hood dump.
Ken from Wedge Tuning, I was talking to him about building this car. Ken's going to do the tuning on this, and he actually said it'd be fun to run this with a side pipe for racing. So,
Zach's already replied for us and said, a side pipe in Australia?
Straight to jail.
You go straight to jail.
Which
is, if you try and drive it on the road, yes.
I don't even think you can run a hood exit exhaust
at the track
on a drag strip in Australia. They don't let you run hood exits. It's so ridiculous.
They've got the reasons, but it's a freaking drag strip.
Avi Medina, the new electric wastegates for the win. Dude, I love how they work. And even looking into how you tune those electric wastegates and how you can set boost targets instead of just duty cycles, I think they're amazing. However, with all the confined space on a right-hand drive a single turbo setup, I won't be able to run electronic wastegate. It's going to have to be old school vacuum-based spring ones. Although I would love to, but we're tight for space. Lightmanek, he has a dual 3-inch on his 335, sounds different and is not too loud. I prefer the sleeper cars. I hadn't thought about dual 3-inch. I was just thinking dual 2.5. Tim Wright, if you're still watching, I know you were here before, what size was yours exhaust? Because your exhaust sounded cool, and he had a custom, fairly big exhaust.
It sounded really good.
The 3.5-inch single exit, I think that's what's on O'Reilly, and that O'Reilly sounds sick when it's on song.
Yeah, and
but is it that because it's the single or is it the exhaust?
It's going to be a combination of both. But that's actually why, possibly with these DAWs, because they are quite big as far as twins go, it's going to be flying a fair bit of air. Obviously, that's why that's why he's so adamant about the bigger exhaust. But it could also, I mean, it's not going to sound like O'Reilly, but it could sound pretty cool.
Yes, I'm excited. Shimron Losper, I hope I got your name right. He said, what are the first couple of things to do to an N54 to increase reliability?
China turbos.
Yeah, China turbos.
Well, actually, to be fair, if you've got stock turbos, then you're probably going to need to replace them at some point anyway.
Yeah, the N54 is such a challenge when you first get them. You've basically just got to catch the maintenance up. Normally, they don't affect your performance, and a lot of people ignore them. Like this car. Drove okay.
Yeah.
It drove okay.
And you could keep driving it, but it's not.
So yeah, make sure oil leaks are fine, and then get on to maintenance like spark plugs, coils.
Even like be prepared to do the water pump.
Yeah. Well, mind you, with the water pump, I will say this. People that do those before they're broken, fair play to you. That's a lot of money to commit. I would just be prepared to do it. Maybe have one, but just fit it when your other one fails. And then make sure you feel for any lines that are soft, like hoses, and just replace any soft hoses. There's no way to make any car ultimately reliable. Even a Toyota, you can still have problems, but yeah, just work through them as they come, and just don't have mentality when you have any.
Yeah, and I guess be aware that it's probably going to happen. But also, if you're mindful of that, sometimes you see people driving it with absolute zero sympathy or zero mechanical sympathy. and that does, induce more problems. And Andrew just, he's aware things can break, and his car is quick as hell. He drives it like no tomorrow, but he doesn't beat on it unnecessarily, and that's why it keeps working.
Just speaking of that, I never actually said in the Circuit and Coffee video, I did a 600-kilometre trip that weekend, and I had about 50 kilos of crap in the boot, which maybe that was why it's hooking up. But yeah, I road tripped that car.
I can't remember. I was talking to somebody.
Huge weekend.
I was talking to somebody, and I think it was Carmen actually. Like how good of a car the N54 and the 335s are, because your car is so damn quick. It's quicker than a supercar doing a 1 to 2. You drove it all weekend, massive amount of kilometres. It's smooth.
It's not too bad on fuel when you're not accelerating.
Yeah, quite comfortable. And stopped at a racetrack on the way home and chopped a heap of people.
Yeah,
like it's awesome.
Can you get we like M54s? All right,
Daryl.
Oh, sorry.
So Daryl, from that super generous tip, has an E92 335 Xi. Awesome. Okay. So with the 11 blade 19Ts, right? Okay.
Dude, just run them.
Terrified about putting them on.
Yep. The 11 blades definitely seem to be more of an issue consistently. There's nothing that you can do to decrease or increase your chances of failure. Just run them and see how you go. The reality is, even if they do fail, you have an intercooler which will catch all the metal bits before it gets to the engine. So yeah, I'd just run them. Don't be afraid. You could put them on and have faultless, no trouble for 3 or 4 years. Yep. So don't get too scared by the internet. Get them on.
It's also it's not like they're just gonna jam up and destroy your engine. Well, I mean, possibly. But
the worst failure I've seen with the China turbos, like the worst thing that I'm aware of happening, is when even like JBs, how they hit the wall and the bearings essentially fail and they start flopping around. If it snaps the shaft and it actually dislodges where the journal bearings are, and you then pump oil into your exhaust, obviously that's a problem because you'll just empty your sump, but you'll be a smoke machine. So yeah,
and you should notice. You should notice that you'll hear a noise. So you should have some warning.
Okay, we need to clarify things because somebody did say 2-door cars used to be allowed side pipes. You are correct. The actual law in Australia is you're allowed a side exit pipe if it's behind any glass opening in the cabin area. Yeah. So we could run a side exit on this car here because it's behind the door, but we couldn't run one there because the door is behind it. So it's just to do with...
Yeah, and that's why on utes and 2-doors you could run them in front of the rear wheel just because they don't have that.
Behind the cabin.
But yeah, sorry, we said you can't run a hood exit at the track.
Somebody did say about side pipes going straight to jail though.
Oh yeah, sorry, if you did have a side pipe on this thing, they will rape you for it.
Avi Medina has made a good point about getting the Turbo Labs America kit before you install them. I haven't priced that kit. If it was me personally, I'll just throw them in and see how they go. Get some decent oil in it though. Whoever's going to tune it, get their advice on what oil. Oil is very important.
And also, it's relevant all the other maintenance as well. So yeah, Eon, I don't know what your other stuff in your car's like, Daryl. Have you got any oil leaks? So if you do, probably don't put the turbos on yet. You can fix, just make sure everything's up to date.
I've just realised I've got to be at Coastline BMW in 15 minutes. Because it took 45 minutes to start the stream, it's dragged on a little bit.
That's what happened with that last live as well. Time flies, guys.
All right, let me try and get it up, and I'll try and not it up, the screen up. I will show you the video I took of it hitting my car. I did actually share it with the 0 to 60 members yesterday. There we are. And I'm hoping that if you bring them over, we should be able to plug the microphone into the computer. Guys, if audio dies, just shout out on the chat. But if you plug that one,